Good afternoon. What a great crowd. Give yourselves a big round of applause. This is exciting. This is so exciting. I want to thank JD for his kind words and his invitation to be here with you. Ken, congratulations. I understand this is your second one of these STEM festivals, and you have a super turnout, and I can't wait to walk around and see what the students are doing. Ed, thank you also. Ed said it right. He said, we have an exciting afternoon after we hear from the U.S. Senator. I'm not going to excite you too much, but I'm excited to be here and have a chance to go around and see what students are up to. Raise your hand if you are a student who loves STEM. That's a lot of hands. Raise your hand if you are the parent of a student who loves STEM. And raise your hand if you are a STEM teacher. Okay, well, how about a round of applause for the teachers? Let's do that. Absolutely. Yeah, and I saw one of the teachers saying, "You're welcome" over there, so that's great. It really is a treat to come and see this, and I'm a huge supporter of STEM education. As was mentioned, my wife, Ann Holton, is the Secretary of Education in Virginia, so her responsibility for Governor McAuliffe is to oversee pre-K through K-12, through community college, through higher ed, and also through standalone career and technical education programs that may not be part of any of the above. Ann was driving up from Richmond, got into some traffic. She may walk in the middle of my speech. If she does, I'll have her say a word or two. If she doesn't, she'll be with me as we wander around to visit with you. Let me tell you why STEM matters so much to me personally. I grew up in a house where my dad was the owner of a small business that was a welding and ironworking business. My three brothers and my mother and me all worked in my dad's business. And what I saw was tremendous artistry by the welders and ironworkers who worked in my dad's business. They had a career in technical STEM education. They didn't have a college degree, but they had been through an apprenticeship program and had learned how to do incredibly sophisticated and very individualized. They didn't do mass production, very individualized ironworking. That created in me a real belief in the value of career and technical education and STEM education. Later, about 5 years after I moved away from home, I was a law student at Harvard Law School, and I decided to take a year off and work with Jesuit missionaries in Honduras. Is there anybody here from Honduras? I actually was at an event earlier today, and someone walked up to me and knew that I had lived in Honduras, and he was from the capital. Honduras is in Central America, and I went and ran a school called the Instituto Técnico Loyola, which taught kids to be welders and carpenters. 25 kids when I started, 75 when I left, and I went back to the Instituto 2 weeks ago, and the school is now 325 students learning, and these are middle schoolers. And they have finished 6th grade, and that's as far as the education system would take them in their town, but for this school. But what they do now is they go for an extra 2 years at the Instituto, and they can learn to be carpenters, welders, computer repair, mechanical, electrical, electricians, culinary arts, all these different science and technology fields. And they are wanting to learn for themselves, but also to build their own country and their own community. When I was governor, as was mentioned by J.D., didn't you hear from the head of the Thomas Jefferson Governor School earlier today? Wasn't that one of the speakers on one of your panels? Yeah. So the governor's schools in Virginia were started by my father-in-law. My wife's dad was governor in 1970. He started the governor's schools, which have now grown, and they cover every city and county in Virginia. There's about 15 governor's schools, and they cover multiple cities and counties each. But the governor's schools are all very focused on college prep. So when I was running for governor in 2005, I said, why can't we have really good career and technical programs that have the governor's school label on them? It doesn't all have to be about college prep. I mean, Lord knows college is incredibly important. I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't had a wonderful education at the University of Missouri and at Harvard Law School. But you can do wonderful things in life with a technical degree. It doesn't have to be a college degree. And so we started the notion of governor's career and technical academies. By the time I left as governor, there were 8 of them. Governor McDonnell, who followed me, liked the idea. He changed the name slightly to Governor's STEM Academy, but it was the same idea. By the time he left as governor, there were, I think, 18. Governor McAuliffe, who's the governor now, he's continuing, and I think we have into the 20s. And these are, again, high-quality programs, mostly for middle school and high school students, to help them obtain technical and scientific disciplines in addition to the regular coursework that they may have at their comprehensive high school. So we are embracing in Virginia the kind of STEM education that you're experimenting with today. And it's not just at middle school either. I go to elementary schools around the state, and I see students in Lego competitions and other kinds of science and robotics competitions that are helping them develop an aptitude and love for STEM education. I've been in the Senate for 2 years, and when I came in, I was disappointed in one thing. I wanted to be on the Education Committee, but I couldn't get on the committee. Now, I can't complain. I'm on the Armed Services Committee, which is really important. I'm on the Foreign Relations and the Budget Committees, so I have no complaints about my committee assignments. But I really wanted to be on the Education Committee. I didn't get on it. But I said, I'm not going to let that stop me. Let me try to find something I can work on that no one else is working on. And that something is career and technical education. Again, training people, whether it's to be a welder, an EMT, or an advanced computer coder. There's so many different STEM and career and technical disciplines. And so I've taken on in the Senate the role of championing that kind of learning, together with Rob Portman, who's a Republican senator from Ohio, Tammy Baldwin, a Democratic senator from Wisconsin, and Mike Enzi, a Republican senator from Wyoming, who now is the head of the Education Committee, so he had to hand the job over to Johnny Isakson from Georgia. But it's 4 of us, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, who care really passionately about STEM and CTE. Now, all I really want to tell you is this is something that matters deeply to me, and it matters deeply, deeply to the success of our country. To have more people who graduate in CTE and STEM fields, incredibly important. We are not producing near enough engineers, near enough scientists in this country. And if you wait till college and then just hope that somebody decides, I want to be an engineer or scientist, you've waited too long. You have to start early. And to talk about what we all should be doing to start early, I now have the great pleasure of introducing you the Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth of Virginia, and more importantly, my wife, Ann Holton, who has just arrived from Richmond. Come on up, honey. And